going on, everybody? Hopefully everyone's having a decent day, though if you're where I'm at, it's still pretty early. It's still before 10 a.m. So my last video was on antinatalism, which brings me to this video about ideology and ideologues. Where do I want to start? First off, I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, right? I grew up, I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre. I grew up right down the street from where the People's Temple was founded by Jim Jones himself. If you know anything about the Jonestown Massacre, this led to the mass murder-suicide of almost 1,000 people. Hence the name, hence the name Drinking the Kool-Aid, which is what I meant to say first was they all died by poisoned drinks. They all died by a poisoned concoction. A poisoned cocktail, to say. And that's the danger of ideology and following certain ideologues, because you could be drinking the Kool-Aid right along with them. What are some popular ideologies? Well, you have feminism, you have conservatism, you have Marxism, you have antinatalism. You have a lot of isms, a lot of belief systems out there. These belief systems are built from human emotion, human experiences, and all these ideologies mostly claim to be the end-all tell-all. They claim to be the road to utopia or the solution to human suffering and to the problems that we have here on Earth. And the thing about that is, we're all humans. Since the beginning of time, we've been trying to figure out how we got here, why we're here. We've been trying to figure out the meaning of life. And in order to truly come to that conclusion of what the meaning of life is, you would have had to been here when life started. Life, period. Not just life on Earth, but life, when the universe started. No one knows what happens at t equals 0. No one knows what happened at the beginning of time. No one. Not even scientists claim to know what happened at t equals 0. We don't know if everything came into existence by natural events or supernatural events. You have religions that attempt to explain what happened in the beginning of time. Science attempts to explain what happened at the beginning of time. The Big Bang Theory, the theory of evolution, these primordial soups that gave birth to life on Earth. And science does a good job. My personal ideology, the ideology that I guess relate to the most, would be conservatism. And conservatism isn't too far off from religion, which is why I always speak on the Bible. Because someone that's conservative probably lives a life, or tries to live a life, that's as close to the religious dogma as possible. The Ten Commandments, the life of Jesus. For Muslims, the life of Prophet Muhammad. For Jews, the life of Moses, the life of Noah, the life of Abraham. That's the reason why I use the Bible to explain so many things, to explain why I don't believe that I even use the Bible to explain my sexist views. Because if you look at the Bible and a lot of these religions, these Abrahamic religions, their views are very sexist. You know, people say that they're Christians, but they don't even really know the Bible. The Bible is very sexist in itself. And sexist meaning that, for my definition of sexist, meaning that men and women are not, we're equal in the sense of we're human life, and we're easily, we're both equal and deserve to be alive, and we deserve to be treated fairly. But we're not equal in the sense of roles, the roles that we play here. We're not equal physically. We both have different roles to play. We're different type of humans, men and women. We have different structures physically, anatomically. We have different structures. This is my ideology. You have some ideologies, such as antinatalism, that are very radical. They are very close to what you would call drinking the Kool-Aid, because they feel like the end-all tell-all for human life, or life on the planet, is just to end human life. And they believe that anyone who doesn't believe this to be the ultimate solution to suffering on earth and to the problems on earth, they believe that anyone who doesn't believe in their ideology is a narcissist and that they're immoral. Well, here's the thing about ideologies and ideologues. They're narcissistic. Because if you believe that your belief system is the end-all tell-all, is the ultimate solution, then you're a narcissist. Because who are you? You're just another human. Another human that is flawed. You're just as flawed as the next man. So am I supposed to take your subjective reality that you reach because life is too hard? Am I supposed to take your belief system that you have came to reach from your struggles here on earth and follow your belief over my belief? Am I supposed to believe in antinatalism over religion? That we should just stop procreating? Should I believe in antinatalism over science, which is backed by decades and decades and decades of research and data? I'm supposed to believe that your ideology is superior to mine when you're a human just like me? And this is the dangers of ideologies. I'm sexist, I'm conservative, or have conservative beliefs, but I can't tell you that my beliefs will lead us to utopia. Now, though I will say, I could say that conservatism or sexism, being a sexist, I guess, is subjective, but there is a lot of data and statistics to support being conservative. But I can't promise that being conservative will lead us to utopia. And here's another thing to think about. If everyone was on the same page, if everyone thought the same, then we would be in utopia, wouldn't we? If everyone was conservative, if every human being on this earth was conservative, that would probably lead us into utopia. Maybe if everyone on the earth was a feminist or they believe in liberalism, then that possibly could lead us to utopia, because everyone would be on the same page. Possibly. Maybe. You know, even that's flawed. Even that idea is flawed. See, I almost created another ideology that I could have just put a name on it, put ism at the end, and boom, now we have another belief system out here. And that's exactly how belief systems come into existence. Someone has this bright idea. They think about this bright idea so long, they're like, man, this bright idea is so perfect. There's no flaws in this idea. I've tested this idea out in so many different ways that this is a perfect idea. I slap ism on the end of it, and I start preaching it to others, and then I grow a following. And that's how a lot of these ideas and ideologies came into existence. But I, nor can anybody else, tell you that their ideology and their set of beliefs is the end-all tell-all. And anyone that does tell you this is a narcissist. And they're also condescending, which goes hand in hand. And it bothers me when you have these people online, some people who, you know, that's the tricky thing about online, y'all. So many ideas are spread. Online is a very dangerous place because Jim Jones convinced almost 1,000 people to commit suicide. Antinatalism isn't too far off from this. Feminism, liberation. Liberation leaves a whole group of people depressed, especially men, because sexual liberation amongst women allows them to pretty much do what they want across the board. And these are my own beliefs, though there's data to support this. Just like there's reason to support antinatalism. But that does not mean, like I've said 100 times in this video, that does not mean that that is the end solution. And when people preach their idea as if they just know it all, and that if you follow these sets of beliefs, then now you are, you've reached the zenith of morality, that you are now now you have the perfect idea in your head, and that everyone should follow this set of beliefs. That's when it becomes dangerous. Because what if Jim Jones was able to convince the world or even a whole country to commit mass suicide? No one would look at that as right. What if people were to believe in something as radical as antinatalism, which is very radical? It's a very radical belief. And you know, it just shocks me that the people that are antinatalists believe this so wholeheartedly that they feel like anyone who doesn't believe this is immoral. But that's the idea that you get with all ideologies, and all ideologues preach this perspective, which makes me look at myself even more, because now I have to start speaking in a different way that isn't so condescending myself, just in case I am being condescending in my videos when I talk about women. Because, you know, the way that people come at you online, and it's crazy to think about online, like I said, the way that these ideas are spread at a rapid rate. And when you look online, man, half the people that you go back and forth with online, what's their profile picture? It's rarely a picture of themselves. A lot of times the people that you're going back and forth with have some type of anime character on their profile. And it's like, do you even take this person serious to begin with? I don't even know what you look like. So I just want to point out the dangers of ideology and the dangers of believing that your belief system is perfect, that it doesn't have any flaws, because it's almost impossible for anyone's belief system to not have flaws if that belief system was created by a human. Now, this is the reason why people can argue religion, and even though science says religion is subjective and not objective, that's where faith comes from. So religion, that's why they say religion is inspired by God. It is inspired by humans. Maybe it was written down by humans and passed on by humans, where maybe the contradictions within the Bible come from. But it's still an argument that it was God inspired. It wasn't inspired by people. It was inspired by, it's what you would call, what's the word? I know what I'm trying to say. Divine intervention. It was divinely inspired. But that's not the case for man-made ideologies such as feminism, sexism, antinatalism, conservatism. All these systems can be flawed. So there's no way I'm about to take one human's experience and adopt it as if it has no flaws. There's a saying I found online that said, let me see if I can remember this without butchering. It said that wisdom tells me I am nothing, but love tells me that I am everything, and my life flows somewhere in the middle. I didn't get that exactly, but it was very close. And that should give you the idea of ideology. Because, yes, human suffering exists. Yes, human suffering is brought on by the flaws of human. And also the flaws of just being in existence. So I can agree with certain aspects of every ideology, including feminism. I can agree with certain aspects, but there's no system that has been created that is flawless. It's the Scrooge, and I'm signing off.